Yeah, I got your chart. One second. Let me open it now.
Hmm.
So which one you did? Okay. Diverging bar chart. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. This is the one, right?
Yes, sir, this one.
Okay. Okay. So when you click on it, okay. Ah. Yeah. So what you did, like you did parameter?
Yes, sir. Both parameter and calculation.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, it works fine.
So, but sir, I have tried to add the levels, but it is
Hmm.
not adding up. I don't know why, but I have levels are not showing.
Which version you created it in?
So I have to check. Right now, I
That's
don't
okay.
have my laptop.
No, not a problem. I have opened it. I've downloaded it. Let me open it. What is the problem in applying the labels?
Actually, I have tried so many times add the labels. It is showing already added, but in the chart, I am not getting the labels. I don't know why this is happening. So,
Okay. Okay. Let me go to the sheet. So when you click, only then it labels are coming. So you see, you have selected highlighted.
okay, sir.
Okay. So that's why when you are clicking, then only this label is showing up.
Okay, got it, sir.
Okay. So that was the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks fine to me. Yeah. What happened here? Oh, maybe you would have done it at the dashboard level.
Dashboard, yes, sir.
No, something has happened here.
Dashboard too, sir. I guess
Okay. Okay.
I have tried it so many times. So,
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, looks good. All right. All right. Good job, Soumya.
thank you, sir.
Anyone else? I have given a data set also, right? Okay. I've given a data set also, right? That popcorn rating thing. Has anyone done that? No one? Okay, that's fine. All right, so this is one more homework. So if you see, if you don't do it, the number of homeworks will keep on increasing, and you will not be able to keep pace at it. Okay, but yeah, I'll try my best to give you homeworks. But if you don't do it, it's up to you. So there is one more homework. So this is totally based on sets and parameters. Okay, so look at this. What is happening? So I have selected top n customers. Okay, and the moment I select top n customer, I can see like who are my top 10 customers and the rest of the customers. Okay. And the moment I say, let's say top 11, I can see that. And this is a parameter that has been set. It's a range parameter. Okay. It's a range, the last one, basically. We have done all list and there is something called range. So range, you can define what is the minimum value, what is the maximum value, what is the step size. Step size means when you click on it, by how much it will increase. Okay. That is the step size. It's the integer. This is the parameter that has been set up. Now you look at this. Now if I go to top n, so there are how many customers in this? Looks like there are 795 customers. Now when I click on this next top 11, now it is 11, so it became 784. Okay, so this is something you need to calculate. Okay, the moment I click, you see that list is growing. Definitely the top 14 has been calculated here, and the rest of the customers are part of the out group, right? Part of the out group. Also, there is one more functionality. There is one more thing here. There is something called show names or other. By default, it will be show names. So when you click on show names, it will give me these customer names also. But the moment I select other, what I am doing here is I am clubbing all the customers who are not part of this top n group will be clubbed into other. And here we are showing a average. Okay, we are showing a average value. Average of what? Average sales. Okay, and what is that calculation? I'll show you the calculation. It's sales. What is average sales? Basically sum of sales divided by count distinct orders. So basically for each order or ID, what is my average sales? That's what I'm showing. Okay, so this is my calculation. And then what I'm doing here is I am given a option here where the user can select whether they want to see all the customer names. Then they will click on show names. But if they want to only interested in seeing the top n customers, and the other customers who are not part of that top group will be clubbed into that other category. So this is the homework. If you do this, that will help you a lot. It will help you in clearing a lot of conceptual issues that you might have while developing. You will solve a lot of issues, right? How this is dynamically changing, right? I'm saying 9, so it is a top 9. The rest is dynamically getting calculated. The 786. Now if I do it, it will be 785, it will be 784, like that. Any questions on this? Any question? I'll not give this workbook. You need to do it by yourself. All right. Now don't worry about this color thing. Okay, just give me the values. Color is basically profit or unprofitable. If something is profitable and not profitable, so that is used in color, and it is a diverging color. So if you go to edit color, it has just been moved to the 2-step color. So one is negative, one is positive. So stepped color is 2. Okay, so that's what has been done. So it's not a big thing. So you can do that. Any questions, guys? All right, if no questions, I will move. I'll go to sample superstore. Any questions on parameter sets what we covered yesterday? Okay, now I'll give you some more examples of parameter sets. Okay, little bit more, not much. Okay, let's say let's say we have state. or let's say, let me cancel it. I brought in region. So I have region like this. What I want here is, if I click on any region, it should drill me down to the state level. From region to state, it should go like that. Okay, that's what I want to do. All right, let me put sales into color. Okay, something like this I have. If I click on West region, I will see. So this entire map of West should be divided by the state values. Okay, that's what I want to do. Whatever I click, it should show me the states for that region. Okay, states for that, only for that region. So what I can do here is I can create, so basically another parameter action I need to do. Let's say, so first I need to capture like what state the user, what region the user is clicking on. All right, so let's create a parameter. We can name it region selected or select region. Let it be string value. Say okay. Show parameter control. Okay. Now I just need to set it up. Now it is not happening because we haven't set that parameter action. Worksheet actions. And I'll add a parameter action. Change parameter. Source sheet is my sheet 1. Target parameter is selected region. And my field, source field is region. Okay. Clearing the selection will, let's say, keep current value, set values to null. I'll say set values to, and I'll not say anything. Okay. Set values to, basically I'm saying blank. Okay. Let's say what happens. Say okay, okay. Now if I click on this, okay, I see West is getting populated now. Now what I will do here, you see when I'm clearing the selection, it is getting blank. Okay. When I'm clearing means I'm clicking anywhere outside, or you can click on it, it is getting blank. Now what I will do here is, now the user selected West, so I need to show this map, all the states for the region West. I'll create a calculated field and I will say show states, and I'll just simply say if selected region, or I'll say region, my field is equal to selected region, then give me the states, state, and otherwise don't give me anything. Let's say okay. Now that field was to be created somewhere. Now you see it has been created. Okay. Now let me put into the details. Now let's see what is happening. Now it is West, right? This is West. Something is happening. Okay, right? But it is kind of getting hidden. Something is happening. You can see this, something is there. Now I'll just remove out of it. Okay. Now what I will do here is I'll just create a dual axis for it. Okay, only the dual axis for the other one. And I'll go to the second one and I'll just remove this region from here, also the sales from here. Okay, now there is nothing. Now what I'll do here is this show states, which is my calculation. I'll just bring it to details. Okay, now you see nothing is coming because I haven't selected anything. Let me select West. Now you see something is happening. Now instead of no zero nulls, now it is give me, now you see there is no null values, only one null value, because there is nothing. The moment I click on it, it is turning into 12. Something is happening, but still I'm not able to show it. There is some problem. Okay, what is the problem? Because you see this show states, it is not a geographical field, it's just simply a string field. That's why something, the map is not able to load it, because if you look at other field, they are all geographical location. So in that case, what we can do here, go to the drop down, there is something called geographical role, and let it make, I'll make it state province. Now let's see what is happening. You see something is happening. Now you see it is there, right? All the states are coming up, right? So you see the states are coming up now. Okay, it is coming up. Now let's say I'll put, it is not visible, we'll make it visible. I'll put sales into color. Okay, now nothing is happening. Now let's say I'll click on this. You see something is happening here. Something is happening. Now let's say I'll go to that parameter action, because when I click on outside, it is completely going up because it is resetting to null. So I'll just reset that parameter a little bit. I'll just configure that parameter one more time so that it will not go away. I'll say keep current value. Okay, instead of set values to null, I'll say keep current value. Now if you see, the moment I click on this, you see it is staying, it is not going anywhere. Now you see the other one I select, now this is happening. Now I just need to do one thing, I'll go here and create a dual axis. Okay, now the moment you click on, just double click on it, it is kind of filtering it out. Now you see the moment you click, right, it is happening. See, one click to select, the other click just displays it up. So this is how you will drill down from a region to a state level, and also we figured out how to convert a field from a normal string field to a geographical field if in case it is needed. Right, now you see this geographical location is come. All right, any questions on this? All right, now let me move to the next thing. Now in in Tableau, what happens, let's say let's say if it is region and I put state, right, and by default it is getting expanded. So if I just I don't drill down, it will be like this. Let's say I just want to drill down this region. So what happens, it expands everything, right, state, all the regions. But if you look at in Excel, when you create a pivot table, right, if you expand that plus icon, only the values for the corresponding item will be expanded, right? But in Tableau, it doesn't happen that way. Tableau expands everything. So we can still control the way we have done a parameter, right? I wrote. Similarly, we can control that. Okay. So what I can do here is I'll just create a duplicate. Now you don't need to create a duplicate. I'm creating because it's a hierarchy. So if it is already hierarchy, this expand button automatically will come. Okay. And I don't want that. So I will just create a hierarchy here. I will just create a duplicate field of it. Now you see the moment I keep now there is no expand button, but my requirement is the moment I click on central, I should see all the states related to central, all the states related to east if I click on this. Similar to this, right? The moment you click on any region, you are seeing the states relevant to that particular region. Same thing I want to do here. I can use a parameter action, I can use a set action, both we can do. I will show you both. Let's say let's say we have this selected region parameter. I'll use that only. So I'll say and we have this selected states, right? Show test states. I'll put it here. Now you see west is selected, that's why it is showing me all the west region. But if I select anything else, it will not work because it was set for the sheet 1. So I'll go here again, action, change parameter again the selected field, and this is the region. Okay, keep current values, select. Okay, all the other things are fine. Let's see if I click on south, it will expand the south. It will, if I click on east, it will expand the east. If you click on central, it will expand the center, like that it will work. So this is using parameter string. The same thing we can do using the set action also. Let's say if I use same, I'll use that region copy field. Okay. Now this is my region, right? Let's say I will create a set on this now. On the region, I will create a set. Okay, create set. Let me create a blank set for now, and this is a blank set. Now what I will do here is um, now I will populate this set, because right now it's a blank set, right? If I do this, if you do a show filter, it will come up in, all, out, those things are there. But what I want here is, let's say I'll put it here. What did I put it? I didn't put this set filter. Okay. So there are a few things coming up, right? When you use a set into the filter, let's say I'll just show set. Now you see by default it is a blank set, right? And let's say right now nothing is selected. It is a blank set, right? So what I will do here is, you can click on this. Okay, you can click on this individually and they will come up just like a filter, but we will make it much better. Let's say I'll just remove for now so that all the regions will come. Worksheets, actions. Now I'll change the set action, change set values. Target set is sample superstore, and the region copy set. It will happen on select, assign values to set, and clearing the selection will, let's say, remove all values from set. I will do. Let's say okay. Say okay. Now let's say if I click on central. Okay, that set, if you go and look, it would have been populated by central value. Now you see central value. Now what will happen? I'll use the same thing, create a calculated field, show states, and I'll say if this set, region copy this set, then give me states, else end. Okay, the same thing I'm doing here. What is happening? A field logical table show states already present. So there is a value called already present. So I'll put an underscore. Now say okay. Now I'll put here. Now you will see only the states related to center. Now you see. Okay. Now that is happening. Now you can ask me, sir, we can achieve the same thing here and the same thing this way also. Like, what is the difference when we should use which one? Depends on the use case. The homework that I have given you, right? Today I showed you in the beginning of the class. In that you will use a set. Your parameter action will not work. Even though you will be using parameters and all those things, but to calculate that which is in the group, the top and the rest of the customers, right? In that you will use a set action. Okay, so depends on the use case. All right, so this is few ways. I mean, in Tableau, whatever you can do one thing in a lot of multiple ways. So there is no right, there is no wrong thing unless you've used it optimum, performance is good, and there is no problem you are getting. Everything is fine. All right. Any questions, guys? All right. All right, let's move to some of the important topics. Okay. So we will start with LOD now. Okay. Guys, you guys are sleeping or what? Nobody is responding anything.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay, let me open a PPT.
Yeah.
Okay, now we will cover LODs, which is called a level of detail expressions. Our level of detail in the visualization is a different thing, and level of detail expressions are a different thing. Okay, so basically there are three types of LODs: fixed, include, and exclude. Okay, there are three types of LODs. So basically these LODs are also a calculated field, but the way it is written little bit different compared to a calculated field. Okay, so by using this LOD, we can actually control where the calculations take place. Okay, I'll show you a few examples. Okay, and if I come to the order of operation, Tableau's order of operation, you see these LODs, right? They take place after the context filter, before the dimension filter, but there are two more LODs, include and exclude. They take place after the dimension filter. Okay, they take place after the dimension filter. Fixed takes place before the dimension filter, and include and exclude takes place after the dimension filter. Okay, so these are few things you need to consider. How a LOD is written? Basically, it is written like this. It starts with a curly braces, ends with a curly braces, and within that first you need to mention your keyword, whether you want to use a fixed LOD or include or exclude. Okay, then you need to mention like at what level you want to calculate that LOD, then followed by a comma, then your aggregation. Okay, so this is how it is written. You just replace this exclude with include or fixed, and let's say I've given an example. Let's say I want to calculate, I don't want to include subcategory for my calculation. So I will just say exclude subcategory sum of sales. Let's say I want to only show um, the subcategory sales. So I will say like fixed, even though we have any other value in the visualization, it will not change anything. It will not change. It will always show you the values at a fixed level. Let's see some examples how it is written. Okay, this is very important thing. It will definitely you will use it. Okay, now let's say I will start with a fixed LOD. Okay, fixed LOD. The name itself suggests. If you're not speaking, please go on mute. So fixed LOD, right? So as the name suggests, it is trying to fix something. Let's say I'll bring in category and subcategory. Okay, and let's say I'll bring in sales. Automatically, if I put sales here, what will happen, guys? It will show me the values at a category and subcategory level, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So it is, who can tell the SQL statement for this, whatever I have done?
Select
Yeah,
category, subcategory, and sum of sales.
yeah. From table, group by category, subcategory, right?
Yes, and order by category. And
Yeah. So this is the SQL statement. But now let's say in Tableau also, by default, when you drag and drop something, a SQL statement is generated. Now I have dragged and dropped sales, right? So automatically the sales will show up at whatever level, whatever the dimensions I have put, right? At that level, the sales or any other measure that you will put show. But let's say I have a requirement, even though I will put subcategories also, but I want to show the sales at a category level only. So basically, if I add all of it, it comes to 742,000, right? So for all the categories, it should be 742,000. How do I do it? I need to fix it, right? So let's say fixed category. So I will say fixed. This is how it is written. Fix, hit tab, automatically it will come category colon sum of sales. Okay. So I have fixed the sales at a category level. Doesn't matter if subcategory is there or not. Let's say okay. Now if I just put it here, now you see, can you see it now?
yes, sir.
Yes.
All the sales are now fixed at a category level. Doesn't matter if, let's say if I put anything else, let's say I'll put the region also. Okay, let's say I'll put a region. It doesn't matter, you see, For all the categories, it is 742,000. So fixed LOD doesn't look at what you put into rows or columns. It will just look at the calculation how you have written, and it will give you the values for that. Okay. This is a simple example. Now let me show you a simple example of it. Include LOD, how it works. Then we'll go to a real-time scenario. Include LOD, as the name suggests, right? It is trying to include something. Let's say I have my category here, and let's say I'll put sales here. Okay, and let me show the mark levels, something like that I'm showing. So what is happening here? I am showing category by, say, sum of sales by category. Let's say I will change it to average. 349. Let's say we control Z. Let me first bring it subcategory and see what is happening. Now this is my category and subcategory sales, as simple as that. Now let's say I will do some changes to it. Now let's say I want to show the average. I want to show the average for each of these categories, right? So what will be my average? So it is like 742,000 divided by 4 for each category if I want to show the average, isn't it? Now let's say if I go to analytics pane and I'll bring in average at a pane level. Now you see what is the value of this average line? 185,500. How it is coming? If you add all of it, 742,000 divided by 4, right? $742,000 divided by 4, 185,500, right? That is the average it is giving me. Here is 79,894 and here it is 209,039. Okay. Now that is my average value. Now the requirement is, let's say, I don't want to show the subcategories, but still I want to show the averages for all the subcategories for each of these categories, right? So what happens normally if you remove this subcategory, it will not give you the right result because the average is dependent on the number of records for each of these categories, right? So how it is calculated? Total sales divided by number of rows, right? If I have to calculate the average of all the subcategories for each of these category, right? That's how it is getting calculated. If you remove it, it will not give you the right result. As simple as that. But let's say that is a requirement we have to do. Let's I'll duplicate this and I'll just remove subcategory and I'll just remove this average line. Okay, now instead of this 742,000, I want to show this value for category furniture. What is my average? 185,500. So how do I do it without bringing in subcategory? Without bringing in subcategory to the visualization. So that in this case, include comes into picture. Let's say I will say include subcat. So I'll write include subcategory. So first what happens? Sum of sales happens, right? Then the average happens, right? On top of it, right? Let's say if I just do this and let's see what happens. Can you see now? 185,500, 79,894, 209,039. This is what 209,039, which otherwise is not possible. So include helps you bring in one or more dimensions into calculation that may not be part of your visualization. But in the other hand, fixed doesn't respect what you bring into the visualization. It will only show you the values how you have defined. So far, so good. Okay. Now there is something called exclude. What exclude does is it is the opposite of include. It will exclude something that you have mentioned in the calculation. Let's say I will put let's say category, again subcategory, and let's say I'll put manufacturer this time. and I'll put sales. Okay, now this is my value. Now what happens? I want to show this total sales at a subcategory level. Okay, total sales at a subcategory level. So what I will do here is, so this is the, so basically I would just want to exclude manufacturer from my calculation. Create a calculated field and let's exclude manufacturer. So I'll say exclude manufacturer, then give me sum of sales. Then give me sum of sales. Let's say F. Okay. Now let me bring it in. Now you see for all of these subcategories, it is giving me total sales at a subcategory level, right? If you add all of it, how much it is coming? 114,880. Same, you are getting 114,880. You can ask me, sir, the same thing can be done by at a fixed, right? Yes, we can do that also with a fixed, but I'll tell you at what level you should do this always with an example. Let's say I'll say fixed subcategory. I'll write fixed subcategory, comma sum of sales. You will see the same result that you saw just right now when I excluded manufacturer. Let's say, okay, now if I just bring it in, you see, you're still seeing the same result. But if you look at the order of operation, right, order of operation, or let me go to the Google and I'll open that order of operation because you're used to seeing that. You see, where include and exclude are calculated, where fixed is calculated. You look at this. You look at this. Fixed LOD is calculated before my dimension filter. Include and exclude are calculated after the dimension filter. So the results that you may see will vary what you have used in the calculation, whether you have used a fixed LOD or include exclude LOD. We'll see that with some examples. Okay. Now the basic concept is clear, right? Fixed, how it works, include how it works, exclude how it works.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Now let's go to a real-time scenario. Let's say I'll put region, I'll put state, I'll put city, and region, state, city, and let's say I will put next, let's say region is fine. If I put only one region, what happens? City, and let's say I'll put sales. Okay, I have something like this. Okay, what else I can bring in? There's nothing more. Postal code also I'll bring in. Nothing will happen. Okay, that's okay. Now let's say what we will do here is central. Let me put one region here. Let's say I have okay. Remove state. State, city. Okay, let's say I'll put postal code. Okay, I have something like this. Okay, state, city, postal code, and my sales. Okay. Now let's say what I will do here is, let me show the totals. Show sorry. Show column grant totals. Where did it go? Okay. I basically wanted to show the subtotals. I wrongly clicked the grand totals. Wait. There is something called totals and there is something called subtotals. it is adding all of it. If I remove the postal code. Now you see, now let's say this is the view. Okay, I have state, I have city, and this is my subtotals, right? So this subtotal is basically for state Alabama. What is my total sales, right? So far so good. Now let's say I'll write some calculations both using fixed, include and exclude. Let's say how it works. Okay, let's say about region, what happened, let you completely mess it up. Okay, let's say I will put a calculated field and I'll say fixed state. Okay, fixed state sales, and I'll write fixed state colon sum of sales. Okay, now let's say, okay, now let's say I'll bring it here. So you see, this is 19,511, and which is exactly matching with my subtotal because I have done the fixed calculation at a state level. Now similarly, let's say I will do a calculation in include, let's say I will say include city sales, include city. Now if I put it here, now you will see this will be exactly the same as the original sales column. It will not have any difference because I'm respecting what is there in the calculation. Basically in the view, I'm using that granularity in the include city. City is the lowest granularity in my visualization. So I'm using that. Now let me use one more exclude. This time I'll say exclude city. I'll call it exclude city sales, exclude city, comma, then give me sum of sales. Say okay. Now if I put it here, now you see that will be same as that of the fixed LOD. This is fixed, this is include, this is exclude, right? This is how it works. So far so good, right? There is no issues. Now let's say I will put a filter. I'll put a filter on city. City is what filter? It's a dimension filter, right? City is a dimension filter. So let me put filter city, and let's say I'll filter out few cities. Let's say Auburn, Decatur, and Florence. I will filter on these cities, and you will see what will happen to the values. Let me take a screenshot of this. Okay, I've taken the screenshot. Now let's say I'll put city to the filter, and I'll just remove Auburn, Decatur, and Florence. Let's say Auburn I removed. Then what? Decatur, something like that. Decatur I removed. Then Florence. Florence I removed. Three cities I removed and say okay. Now you see. Can anyone see what you are seeing right now? Can anyone explain what you're seeing right now?
So
I've
sales,
filtered out three cities.
everything changed except the fixed
Yeah,
loading.
everything changed except the fixed. Now, why it is happening? You need to look at the order of operation. Okay. You look at the order of operation. What is the dimension filter I applied?
Okay, before the dimension, fixed is there.
What the dimension filter I applied?
City.
City. And in order of operation, it is applied here, dimension filter, right? And fixed LOD is calculated just before the dimension filter, right? So the moment when I applied that city filter, this was already calculated, right? So this was already calculated. That is why when I filtered out those cities, this sales was already calculated at a state level, right? Fixed state sales, right? I said fixed state sales. Look at this fixed state sales. It is calculated already before my dimension filter is applied. That is why when I even though removed some of the cities, it didn't have any impact on the total sales of the state. But others include and exclude, where they are calculated after the dimension filter. That is why whatever values I filtered out, on those, this include and exclude were calculated. I got the result based on that. Any doubts, any questions?
No, sir.
Good. Now, in this case, you can ask me like, how can make it work? How can make it work, right? How can this, it will give me the right result. So look at the, again, you need to look at the order of operation. Look at the filter before dimension filter. What is the filter before dimension filter?
Context filter.
Context filter, right? So this city filter, I will move to a context filter. How do I do that? Click on the drop down and there is something called add to context. The moment you do that, add to context, now look at the calculation, the sales value. It is matching now. All are matching.
Yes.
Right? Because now the calculation took a precedence. That dimension filter, I moved to a context filter. Now that context is getting calculated, then whatever values are remaining, based on that, this LOD is getting calculated and all the other. That is why the fixed is now showing the result relevant. Now you see the moment you move it to context, it moves in the filters also, it will move to the top and it will be grayed out. That's how you will find out if something is a context or not. So when you move something to context, what happens? It recomputes. Basically, it creates a subset of the data. It creates a subset of the data, and all the other filters or calculations, they are based on the rows that are passing through this context. So this is the use case of context. So we saw how context filter works, how fixed works, how include exclude both works. Any doubts so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Now we'll do some examples of fixed LOD. Now let's say this is a scenario. Now just give me 1 second. Okay, now let me expand it. Can you read the question, guys? Oops. 1 second, guys. Can you read the question and explain what I'm trying to, sorry. Sorry. Now read the question and tell me.
We want to isolate the most recent date for customer order.
We want to isolate the most recent date for a customer order to see the sum of sales for their latest order. So let's say if you are a customer and you are going to Amazon or Flipkart and you are placing orders. Okay. And I want to see what was the latest transaction you had. You may have like hundreds of items you have ordered in the past. I'm not interested in that. I just want to see the latest transaction. Okay. So how do we do that? How do you do in SQL the same thing? I don't need an answer, but just try to think. Okay. So basically, you try to find out what is the maximum date for each customer, right? Then you will try to find out the sales for that date, right? That is the simple thought process. Let's say in Tableau, how will we do that? I put customer name here, and let's say I'll put order date here. Okay. Now, and let us put sales also. Now you look at this, the first customer had made 3 transactions. What is the latest transaction?
Ten, 11, 20, 20.
That's the latest transaction. So I just need to show this row. I just need to show this row for that customer, Arun Burman. For this customer, I want to show this row. For this customer, I want to show this row. So that is my requirement. It's very simple. Now tell me what should be the calculation that we should be writing. I want to find out the maximum date for each customer, right? Max date. So what should be my calculation? Any idea? It may be wrong. That's okay.
Include max order date.
Max of order date, right? That's the first thing that comes to our mind, right? Max of order date. Now let's say okay. Now let me use it how it comes up. You see what is happening.
The same.
Ideally, I'm expecting this number to be repeated for all the rows, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm expecting. But max update is not working that way. Max update is giving me it. So every function, everything that you write, no matter what tool technology you use, it works at a row level, right? So it looks at each and every row and it gives you the max value. So I need to find a way so that it will calculate the max date at a customer level, right? Max date at a customer level, right? So now anything comes to your mind, whatever we have covered today?
Exclude old date and include new date.
Exclude.
Same include max date is to customer name.
Okay, so I have, let me create a calculation. Yeah, tell me what you're thinking. Yeah, let's try to do that. Yeah, tell me.
Include max date.
Include max date. This is the one that we calculated.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Include max date.
On customer level.
Then what? See, every NOD that you write, it expects some sort of an aggregation, right? You see, include dimensions. So this is your dimension that you're saying, and there has to be an aggregate expression. Okay.
Aggregate should be customer name.
How can you aggregate customer name?
Sorry.
So let's say include, that is a calculation, right? Include max date, you are saying. Include max date. Just think, let me go back to the original. So here, let me, whatever I have used, fixed category, right? Let me show you something. Look at this calculation. I was trying to find out the sales at a category level. So what we wrote, fixed category. So when you are writing something like this, a fixed, always try to replace this fixed when you're trying to read LOD, right? So I'm saying here for, so basically your fixed, you replace it for each, okay? For each category, give me sum of sales, right? For each category, give me sum of sales. Now in this example, what I'm saying, I'm trying to find out for each customer, give me the maximum date. For each customer name, give me the maximum date. Now think.
Now fix the maximum date.
Fixed customer name.
Let's say create calculated field, and I'll say max date 2. Somebody said fixed customer name, right? Let's say fixed customer name. And what I need here?
To max order date.
We need
Yeah, very good.
Max.
Very good. Max of order date. So basically, I'm saying for each customer, give me the maximum date, right? That's what I'm saying. Say, okay. Now I'll just put it here. Now you will see the result. You see?
Yeah. Now it's up.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now what I should do? I just want to show this row, right?
Same fixed of customer name to sum of max of sum of.
So basically I want to show this row, right? So I just need to write a simple condition, right? Where my order date is equal to this date. So I'll remove that, where my order date is equal to max date 2, right? So it will only happen for the recent date, right?
Yes, sir.
Max date filter. I'll write if order date is equal to the one that I calculate, which is max date 2, or I can just say order date is equal to max date 2 also. Okay, can you see this? Now say okay. Now if I just let me put into rows instead of a filter, can you see something now? Do you think we can make it work now?
Whatever is true, we can consider in false.
Yeah. So what I'll do is I'll put that max date filter into filter and I'll just select the trues, right? And I'll remove that now so that user don't need to see that. You don't need to see this max date. Now we are showing only the maximum date and its transaction for that customer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, clear? Okay. Okay, so there are some steps I have mentioned. Maybe, I mean, it's a different way I have done it here, but yeah, that is the whole process. Okay, so here what I have done here is, so basically if order date is equal to, so I calculated here, okay, in one calculation only, I have found out the order date, maximum order date, and then I'm checking whether that is equal to the original order date. If it is true, then give me the order date, else end. That's what I'm saying. Okay, otherwise don't give me anything. Different ways you can do. Now let's go to the second example. Okay, now let's say, let me put again. Now look, read this question. So basically, only the first line is the question. We want to bin together or we want to group together customers according to how many different products they have ordered. That is the simple question. Okay, how many different products means how many unique products customers would have purchased. Let's say I have ordered 5 different products. So similarly, there will be multiple customers who would have 5 products. So we want to find out the count of those customers who have ordered 5 unique products. So let's say there are 1,000 customers who have purchased 5 unique products. Okay, that is the how you interpret. So how to do this? So basically, I need to first find out how many unique products a customer has purchased, right? That should be my first thing, right? Let's say, got the question, right? What I'm trying to say. Now next. So basically, I want to find out how many unique products each customer has purchased. So to do that, I'll create a calculated field. Let's say I'll create on a customer name, create calculated field. Let's say unique products. So to do that, again, I will make use of a fixed calculation here, fixed customer name. And what I will do here is count distinct. Count distinct. What is that? Product name. Okay. Now what it will give me? Now you see, when the moment I put it into columns, it is kind of giving me a aggregation, but that's what I don't want. So what I'll do here in this case, I'll move it to a dimension. Now I'll make it a column. Now you see, these are the different products that the customers has purchased. Now I want to find out how many customers. So what I'll do, I'll put customer here. See, I'm already getting some results, and I'll make it a, let's say, count distinct. Let's say I'll put it here. Okay. So how do you interpret this? Let's say hover over it. There are 64 customers who have purchased 10 different products. I just on the labels, and let's say if I go to this, let's say there are 5 customers who have only purchased one customer. Let's verify this. Okay, let's verify this whether how it is working. Click on this, go to the details, orders, and look at the product name. So basically, is it one customer? What is happening? Wait, something is happening. Count distinct customer name. Count distinct customer name 5. And for each customer, okay, getting it. So let's say what is happening, it's showing 1 and 5, right? So basically, if you look at my calculation, the unique products, whatever I have used here, what I'm saying here, I am saying find out the unique products for each customer, right? Find out the unique products for each customer. Now if you look at this, right, if you look at this, what is happening here, unique product is 1 and number of customers are 5. Let's say how it is happening, number of customers 5, right, and unique product is 1. So that means if you look at this, each customer has purchased one product, only one unique product. Like that, there are 5 customers. Now if I go to the other one, let's say there are basically, I am showing 2 products, unique products have been purchased by 10 customers. Okay, let's see that. You will get clarity now. Now you look at this, there are 20 rows. What is happening here? Now look at this. I'm saying there are 10 customers, right? Where is my customer? These are my customer name. Now if I just sort it, now it is sorted by customer name. If you look at the products, each customer has purchased 2 unique products, right? Each customer, you see, this customer has purchased 2 unique products, this 2 unique products. That's what we are saying. So there are 10 customers who have purchased 2 unique products. Similarly, the third one, there are 18 customers who have purchased 3 unique products, right? This is how you should interpret, and this is how you should validate your data once you create a calculation. So it's not like whatever you create will always be correct. So you should always go to the data, either you are connecting to SQL or any other database, go there, write a query, look at the backend data, how it is coming up, whether you take some sample data and you see how it is coming. Now you see 3 unique products for each customer. Now that's what I'm saying. Basically 18 customers who have purchased 3 unique products. Have I made it clear how it works?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, save it. Now let's go to one more example. One second, guys, I'm getting a call. Sorry guys, I'm back. All right, now let's take one more example. Okay, so this is a good thing. What I want to do here is basically, let's say I will create a, so basically we want to show in this example, we want to show, let's say, fixed city is this, include city is this. Okay. So basically what I'm trying to do here is, let's say I will create something like this. Let's say I will double click on state. And now these are all states, right? These are all states. Let me just change it a little bit. I'll bring in region also to detail. I'll put it on top. Okay, now you see, if I hover over region West and state is Nevada, and let me also put region into color. You see, and let's say I will put sales also. Let me put, not put into details, but let me put in tooltip. Let's say now whichever state I hover over, I see the sales amount for that. Now let's say the requirement is when I hover over, I will show the sales for that particular state, but the user also wants to see the overall sales for that particular region. So basically all this put together, what is the total sales? Let's say 725, 458 for this particular West region. So whenever I hover over, I would like to see that value. Okay, 7,425, whatever I said. How do we do it in this case? Okay, can anyone just make a wild guess? How do we do it?
Make a LOD and bring into level.
Which LOD you will write?
Fixed.
Okay. Yeah, you can write both fixed and exclude. Let me first write a exclude one. Always try to see if you can do something with a include or exclude rather than fixed, because fixed I showed you there might be some filtering issues. You may have to move something to context. All those things are there. All right. So let me first do with the exclude. So exclude, what should I exclude here in this? Sorry,
That's
state. Very good. Exclude state and I'll say sum of sales. Say okay. Now let me also bring it to the tooltip. You see now 725, wherever I go for that West region, it will give me that value, because the granularity of this visualization is region and state, right? By region, by state I'm showing. So I just want to show the sales at a region level. So probably I need to tell to Tableau, I need to tell Tableau that, okay, don't calculate it for state, just give me at a region level. So I excluded state from it and it is given fine. Fixed also will work fine, but there might be some filtering issues as I mentioned. This is how you can do it. Now whatever I have done here, so you say okay, now let's see how that calculation may not work in a include or fixed. Let's say I'll put state here, I'll put city here. Okay, and let's say I will put, again we need to understand these concepts better. Very useful ones. Now this is giving me fine. All right, now let me just reverse this little bit. Now what is happening, you see there are few cities which are present in two different states. That quite obvious, right? In India also there are multiple cities which might be found in different states, right? Look at this. Auburn, this city is present in Alabama, New York and Washington. Now let me calculate the sales at a fixed city level or include city level, and let's see how the difference comes up. Fixed First, I'll calculate, let's say include. Now let's say fixed city sales. And I'll say fixed city sum of sales. Now let's say what happens. Okay. Now look at this. What is happening here? It is giving me basically adding it all up, right? It's giving 3155. Now let me do a similar thing. Fixed city sales, I'll say include city sales. There is already a field, so I'll just put an underscore, include city sales. This one, okay. Now let me put it here. Now you look at this, the difference between two calculations. You look at this, what is happening in fixed. Auburn is different, totally different for Alabama, totally different for New York, totally different for Washington. But when you write a fix, it doesn't even care what you have, whether it belongs to another state or not. It just looks at city Auburn. Okay, give the total sales. It aggregates all the Auburn's and it gives you total sales. But include, I just said include city, right? Include city, but still it is giving me the correct result because include looks at whether what we have in the visualization, any other dimension am I using or not. It found out that there is state also. There is state also. So what it did, it took state also into consideration and gave me the value, right? So that's how the include works. In the fixed, if I have to make it work, what I need to do is I need to include that state also, comma state, then only it will work. Now, if at the moment I change it, you will see all these three will now match. You see, it matched. So that's how you will, that's how you need to understand your granularity of the data, and you need to know like when you use something, whether that will work fine or not. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far? All right. Now let's say, and this, one second guys, I'm getting a call from DMart. I've just raised a complaint with them. One second. Yeah, sorry guys. Okay. Let's say, and this fixed kind of things, right? They help you a lot. Hello.
Yes.
Okay, they help you a lot. One example, normally when you create a dashboard, users would like to see what is the data availability for that report, right? Data availability means what is the minimum date and what is the maximum date in that report, right? That is always needed. On top of the dashboard, they would see, okay, data availability from to. So in that case, you can use this LODs. So there are something called table scoped LODs. Okay, it is a fixed LOD, but the way it is written little bit different. Let's say I want to find out the min date. So I will just say there is an order date in my table, right? I'll say curly braces min of order date. So here I didn't use any dimension. I just said min of order date. So this is, if I do this, let's see how it is comes up first. I'll put it here. So, so this is the date, 3rd January to 2018. That is the minimum date. Let me do one more for a maximum date. Duplicate this, edit. I'll just change it to max date. Oh, where it is? Oh, we have created something like that. Underscore max date. And let me put it here also. Oops. So this is the max date, which is 30 December 2021. Normally, how do you write in a dashboard? Data availability, something like this. Delete this. Okay, it will look like this, something like this. Wait. Or you can all make it left column, whatever suits best. Something it will look like this on the dashboard. Somewhere on top, you will use this. Normally, it is used like this. Okay, right title. On the dashboard only it is used somewhere, so that will give the user an information like what is your freshness of your data, right? So for this you can use something like this min and max date, which is basically table scoped LODs. The reason I say table scoped LOD, because it is calculating it for the entire table, not based on any dimension. This is equivalent to writing like this, fixed colon. So see, I'm not using any dimension here, I'm just saying fixed colon and min of order date. If I say apply also, there will not be any change to my calculation, because it is, in other words, I'm not looking at any dimension. I'm just saying, give me the min date for my entire table. So this is a table scoped LOD. Okay. So this is how you can use one use case. Also, let's say I have my order date here. Okay, 2018, 19, 20, 21. Okay, I have this much. Okay, let's say I want to find out the latest year. Okay, latest year. How do I do it? So similarly, same max year. I'll write max year, and I'll write max of year. That same colon max of year of order date. Okay. Now if I say okay, and if I just put it here, now it will give me 2021. 2021 is the maximum year, something like that. In case you want to filter it based on some conditions, you can do that. Something. Let's say also you can use this to compare this year sales versus last year sales. Okay, this year sales versus last year sales. So how do you do it? So you have calculated the max year, right? So let's say I'll say latest year sales. Let's say year sales. I'll say if year of order date is equal to this max year, right? Then give me sales. And right? Now what will happen if I say okay, and I'll bring it here? You see, it will give me only sales for that year. Okay. Now similarly, I'll want to calculate for the previous year. Okay. So I'll just, let's say, duplicate this, and I will call it previous year sales. previous year sales. And here, if I say if my year of order date is equal to -1, so it is calculating like this. So it will now become 2020. So I'm saying where year of order date equal to 2020, then give me sales. Okay. Now previous year sales. Now I'll bring it here. Now it is coming like this. Now I want to compare these two, right? I'll just,
Sir, can I ask one question?
yeah, 100%.
So, sir, if the year of order date, here it is at 18, 19, 20, 21. So you use -1. If it is and there is no order on 2020, so can that -1 work for 2019?
So when you don't have any order for 2020, that value itself won't be there, right? That won't be there. So by default, okay, that's what you're saying. Mhm. Okay, getting it. Good question. Okay, so basically using there is no 2019. Okay. Normally it doesn't happen. If a company goes bankrupt, then it will happen. Okay. Good question. So let's say you calculated the max here. So let's say 2021, right? Let's say which is my calculation max here. Okay, this is my max of here. Probably you need to know those things, right? If you're working on the data. I mean, there are different ways you can, why not? Definitely you can calculate. You will just figure out if that max here, if it is not null, maybe no, not null will not work also because there is no data for that. Let's say what happens if I remove this exclude. Okay, I just excluded that value. Okay, and this is max here. Probably you will need to, see, if this kind of issues happens, right, you will be definitely informed, right? You will be definitely informed that some for particular year there is no sales, so we may not consider that. So probably you may need to write some logic, okay, for that. If it is 20, you cannot do a -1 there exactly, but you need to write some logic you need to come up with, so that you need to work with your business, like what will happen, right? So by default, in an ideal scenario, right, in an ideal scenario, these things how it is written in a real time. Okay,
Yes.
you can come up with, I'm not saying it's, totally it's a very use case specific thing. Okay, now we have this thing, right? We have the 20 latest year sales, and you have the previous year sales. Okay, now I want to do a comparison whether we have done good or bad, right? So what, let's say I want to find out the percentage increase. What should I do? What should be my calculation?
Latest minus previous by previous.
Something like that, by previous, right? So that should be my calculation. Let's say I want to find out percentage change. So what should be my calculation? My latest, this one, sum of latest year sales minus sum of previous year sales divided by sum of previous year sales. So I will put them in a bracket so that it will be considered one value, and let's say okay. Now I have got some value. Let me put it here, but you will not see anything. You see, there is nothing. Any guess why it is happening? Why we didn't get any value? Every calculation works at a row level. Okay, if you look at your latest year and previous year, they are in different rows, right? That's why it did not work. For this to work, what we can do here is we will remove this from my calculation, from the rows, the year I remove. Now it is 0. Now it is something is coming. Maybe probably it's a mere formatting issue, what I'll do here is format from number, it should be percentage. You see this? Getting it? How it is working? Always ensure when you calculate something, bring it to the same row. Then only you will make it work. Now this value is coming. Let's say I will show you something. Let's say people say, okay, if it is positive, show it in green, red, something like that, right? So now what will happen here is you will try to bring this to color. Now, if you bring it to color, it will color everything. Okay, so that will be a problem. So in this case, you cannot have, in this case, you cannot directly put it in color. You can give some plus, minus, all those things. Let me show you first that. Go to format always, go to this, because it's in pane, go to custom, and let's say if it plus, just include plus, put a semicolon. The semicolon will check the first part of the semicolon is for positive value. Second part of the semicolon is for negative value. So here I'll put a negative. Like that you can show if it is positive, it will be a positive sign will come. If it is negative, a negative sign will come. But let's say you want to color code it, right? In this case, this kind of structure will not work. The way we have put into measure values, this will not work. It has to be put individually for each column. Each column wise we need to put. Let me duplicate that, and it is a scenario that you will normally face. Now what I will do here is I'll just remove this. Max here anyways is not needed. So these are the three values: latest year, previous year, percentage change. Let me remove these three values. Okay, this is my latest year sales. Okay, let me put it into columns, and this time I'll make it just instead of automatic, I'll just make it a text. There are multiple ways of doing it. I'm just doing it one way. So this is latest year sales. I'll put it into label. This is how it comes up. Okay, this is how it comes up because it is a measure, right? So it gives me axis. If you do not want this axis, keep it this way. I'll tell you why. Okay, because this is a number, right? Now the other thing is previous year sales. Now you see this is my previous year sales. So in previous year sales, I'll put this into text. Okay, now the next is basically the percentage change. I'll put the percentage change. Now all three had three different axes, so I can control them easily. Now this, right, latest, the percentage change, let me put that value. Now this is what it is. Now this is how it is looking. Now let me just remove this grid lines and everything. Okay, now the grid lines are removed. So if you want to remove the borders, you can remove. Now what say we want to change the color. Now here it will be easy for me. This is one way. Okay, now it should only change. What did you put? Now you see it will only change the color for this. And let's see if I just do edit color, and if I just do step 2 color, I hope there is no step 2 color will come because it is all positive value for this. Probably okay, that's okay. Let me change the color a little bit first. Instead of this automatic, I should use a diverging, custom diverging. Let's say custom diverging. So you see there were two ends for this. Custom diverging will give you two ends. So on the right hand side, it is the positive side. So I'll just change it to some positive color. Say okay. Now I'm not getting a negative color. So let's say I'll put some filter so that maybe I can see some something. Let's say category. Okay. For furniture, it is still positive. For office supplies, it is still positive. For technology, it is still positive. So it will not work. So basically, when you create this kind of things, right, ensure that you check all the aspects, right? Because sometimes when you create the dashboard, only one value will be appearing. But what happens if another value comes? Whether have you taken that into consideration while doing this color codings? So all these things you need to look into it. Let's say I'll put some filter. Let's say I'm just hoping to get something. If I get a negative value, maybe there is nothing. Show filter. I'll put one more. Here is a negative value. Can you see this negative now? Now that is something I need to take care of. Now I'll go to this, and for negative, I'll select a red color, say okay. Because it is not diverging, it is not happening. Should happen something like this. It will not happen because only one value is present so basically one value is present, so it is not getting that scale to change it, so it is not happening. That is the only reason, but we have fixed it. The only problem here, right, you see that scale is coming, right? It is coming left, right, something like that. So what we can do here is, now since this is not working, we found out, okay, this is not working. There is one more way I will tell you. Let me duplicate this. Now what I will do here is I'll remove this color thing from this. I'll put a min of 0 here, or let's say I'll put I can put a min of 0. Let's say okay, and this min of 0, right, I will make it a bar. These are all tricks you will learn over a period of time. Not min of 0, let me make it a min of 1. Okay, now it will give me a bar, and let me go to the edit axis of it, and I'll make it fixed, and I'll fix it to 1. Okay, so it will give me a full bar like this, and I will not show the labels for this. Okay, and let me do the dual axis. Now it will come like this. Now let me do a move marks to front such that value will come up, and here I will not use this color. You need to see it again, the video what I'm doing. Okay, and here what I will do here is alignment. I'll keep it to mid. Oops, I don't need this measure name color. What I will do here is, this is text minus 0% change. I'll remove it, that percentage change, so that I will not see anything. Make it a bar also. Okay, now I'll go to the second one, and in this, that I will put that percentage change. It's a label. So in 1 minus. Okay, I just wanted to show it in the middle. Now that color coding thing, now we will show that. Now this percentage change, right, it gives me a value, right, whether it is positive or negative, it can be any value. So what I will do here now is I will create one more calculated field, and I will say, let's say sign. There is a function called sign which checks whether it is a positive or negative sign of this percentage change. Okay, now let's say okay. So it will give me 1 if it is true, or if it is false, it will give me -1. Now I'll use this into color. Now it will give me 2 colors. Maybe this is happening because I need to move it up or down, because the way I've used, right? So probably I'll do something like this. Okay. Control Z. I just want to change the order. Something like this. Okay, now the background, it's like a conditional formatting. In Tableau directly it is not available, so there are a lot of workarounds available which we can do. Now let's say if I select all, now it is a okay, earlier it was a negative value. So I mean, if it is a good data, definitely it is work. This is working. Okay, this is a negative value, so not percentage. I need to use that sign thing, right? I sign. Okay, now this is -1, so I will use a color of -1, red. Apply. Okay. Now if I select all, now that will be a different color. Something like that. You need to do all these things. Ah, that's great. That 0 to 1, this thing is happening because this is in decimals and the other part is basically in 0 to 1. So that is the reason why it is happening. Edit access. If I go there, it should not be refreshed. It's coming down. Okay, now this is positive. I can change it to okay. And now if I just show the filter, I can change to some other value. This is negative. Now I can change the negative value to red. So now it will work fine. So this is how you can create different things. I mean, it's a lot of work around you need to do. Maybe I can make it bold, something like that. So it will be useful to the users. Different ways of doing things. I can remove the headers and probably I can remove the borders also so that it will look good. Column header and I can remove the row header, something like that. So this is how you can create. I mean, just wanted to show you, we just went little ahead what we wanted to do. So basically we have covered a lot of topics today. Started with the set actions, parameter actions, LODs, include, fixed, LOD, exclude, include, fixed. Then we saw few of the scenarios, right? Then we come to the how some real-time applications can be used. All those things are there. So try to do that homework that I have shown in the beginning of the class today. Okay. If you do that, a lot of concepts related to sets, parameters will get cleared. Okay. Any other questions, guys, you have before we stop for today? All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend.
Sir, actually,
Yeah.
yesterday you told us that you will share the syllabus contents with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
can you
give me a
please share
second.
it?
I'll upload it. I'll give it that and I'll upload. I'll ask Lohit to upload that.
Yeah, actually, I had a word with Lohit, sir. So he asked me to connect with you.
Okay, I'll upload everything. He will put that into the. I think it would have been shared already, right? I mean, it's not to you.
No, actually.
Okay. Because I've shared that with Dev, sir. But okay, I will share it again.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thank you.